Greetings, kings, queens, knights, nobles, jesters, to the 23rd episode of Outside the Box with Seth Siyon, 101 with Seth Siyon. Also, ¿qué pasa mi gente? Bienvenido a Outside the Box con Seth Siyon y gracias por el apoyo. ¿Estás bien? Wepa. So, this episode right here, I've been led to go back to a chart that I put up in episode 19, basically talking about the parallel worlds merging. So I'm going to go back to the chart and I'm going to basically explain it more in detail than I did last time. So I'm going to put the chart up right now and I'm going to go through it as I show you. Okay, so you see the chart, and you see I have two circles that are intertwining, and on the right side it says the world, which is the old world, and on the left it says the new world, and you see in the middle it's the merge. That's what we're encountering right now, is that merge. So the old world represents the illusion. That's what we are brought up in. The old world is the illusion, which you are basically you're in a time of attachments, bondage to society, judgment, and then you see that box. That box is basically religion, worldly knowledge, and that's the veil which has people blinded. And I put over top of that the Walking Dead, because that's what people basically are doing, walking dead. They just have no kind of soul or spirituality about them. They just so conformed in this society, which is the 3D society. And also with that, in the 3D world, again, you're basically judgmental, blinded. You are believing the illusions, meaning you are believing the things that you can see and that you can touch. And those are the illusions of the world. Because the things that we can see, the things that we can touch, they are not real. And for those that are in the religions, especially Christianity, it even speaks on that in 2 Corinthians 4:18. It says the things that we can see, the things that we think are real are not real, because we can see them. They are physical. They are matter, so they're not real. They was created, but they're not real, because it's going to all go away, just like everything in this world going to eventually go away, including the flesh. This is just a shell that we have right now. It's the body, but it's flesh. It's basically like a suit that covers the soul. So it's not real. So also, when you venture over, what's happening is, so the old world and the new world now are colliding, because this is that time. When it happened, I don't know. I just know it's that time. And this chart is actually in the dream that I had. So I got the insight on it and had the knowledge to know how to put it together and explain it. So as it merged, that's when the matrix entered. So the matrix is a time where you become conscious. Your third eye begins to open right here, and that third eye is your spiritual eye. It's not the physical eyes that you look through right now. It's that spiritual eye. You begin to see slightly beneath the surface of things. You begin to have dreams. You begin to have visions, stuff like that. And during this time, you don't quite understand it. So you have a lot of questioning. You have a lot of confusion going on, because it's new. It's just like when a baby is brought in the world. When they're first born, their eyes begin to open. They can barely see. It's just like kind of, blurry. So that matrix, it causes that spiritual eye to be blurry in the beginning, because it's new. But it's something that that is real, but you just ain't got to that point yet to know how to put things together yet. So the period Also, that period of the matrix is also a time where it's a time, like I said, a time of confusion, and also you begin to soak up and you fiend for spiritual things, spiritual truths, spiritual conversation, spiritual knowledge. You fiend for it. It's like it's you're not you're not you're not accustomed to the empty conversation that you normally had of the world, meaning gossip, meaning people, you know, just talking about things that have no kind of meaning to it. You want things that you can learn and true knowledge. People that have great insight on things. That's what you fiend for during this little phase right here. And again, it could be confusion in the beginning, but it's something that you feed on, and you absorb. And then, like I said, you begin to slightly see past the surface of things, meaning that, the things that you thought you knew, you start to see through those things, be questioning them like, was this really, I think there's more to this than this. So that's when you start seeing past that surface, because it's something more or greater than what you eventually thought when you was in the 3D. Also, the matrix is something that, like I said, you see the merge, so it's something you can't stay in. It's a period for you to awaken, to move on to the 5D, or to just be stuck. And this is a time where you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice in your life, a phase, and a period where you had to choose to be like, am I going to keep going, or if I'm going to allow confusion and fear to stop me from moving forward? Because you've been so adapt to 3D that it's hard to believe certain things that you're starting to recognize now in this matrix, that you know that are true, but you still question it, you still doubt it. And this is a time when you're being lukewarm. And for those who know the Bible, it even talks about that, being lukewarm. He said, rather you be hot and cold versus lukewarm. So this is a time where you have to figure out, am I going to be hot? Am I going to be cold? You can look that up in Revelations 3:15-16. So this is a time where you have to make that choice to figure out which way you want to go. It's your choice. So we'll keep moving on. So now when you get past this matrix, and this matrix it's it's not a set time limit. It's up to the individual. It's up to the individual to figure out if they're gonna really, put themselves in a in a place where they can move forward. That's mean they're gonna have to make a lot of tough decisions. You're gonna have to separate yourself from certain people. You're gonna have to you gotta start going more on your intuition, on your, what the spirit is telling you. You're gonna have to do things that's gonna, make you different. And people, and even people that you've known, are gonna know, something different with this person, or they acting different, or they didn't change. That's this the part of the matrix where you have to be like, are you gonna continue, or you gonna allow these people to hold you back? So the time limit in the matrix is up to the individual. But for the individual that does go through this process of the matrix, they enter what we call the 5D. And the 5D is a period where it's all about the truth, you know. And and then in the 5D, all knowledge is oneness, meaning you're not in that box. You're not in that society of religion box anymore. It ain't just, you just a Christian, this the only way. It ain't, you a Muslim, this the only way. It ain't you a Catholic, this the only way. Buddhism, this the only way. Hinduism. You take all the knowledge of the world, and you bring it to one. You bring it all to one. It's just like I tell people, you fry fish and you eat that fish. The meat is good on it, but you also got to be careful with them bones. And what the bones are with this religion is falsehood and ego. So you have to learn how to bite that fish and eat the meat, but know how to spit the bones out. So that's what this is. Also, the 5D is a place of freedom. You're not bound by the worldly traditions. You're not bounded by the worldly basic principles of life, because you know that most of this stuff was lies, and it's all about control. It's all about bondage. It was all about you building their society that they created for their self ambition and for their control. And I can give you an example. You look at the Roman Catholic, empire that was all about control. It was all about universal control. What they did is they created an image and circulated throughout the whole world to make people worship this image as they call it God, the creator, whatever, when it was something made up by them because they wanted to be in his likeness. So you begin to see through all this, begin to see through all the bullshit, and you also start to believe that everything is one. It's again, it's one creator. It's one creator. What you call him, your business. I know him as Yahweh, and that's when you believe that everything is from him and of him, regardless of what it is. And you also become detached from things, especially the physical things in this world. You become detached from people. You become detached from material things. You become detached from anything that keeps you from anything that's contrary to the truth. You don't entertain those things no more. You become detached from it. If it's anything that's going to hold you back or set you back, you detach yourself from it easily. You don't allow. You don't be in relationships anymore that hinder you anymore. You don't be in relationships that cause you to be somebody that you are not, or to hinder from who you want to be. So you become very detached. And also, if you look all around, see, your conscience also ascends in the 5D, meaning that you're no longer, your conscience is no longer bound in this realm. You begin to go outside this realm to the beyond, which is eternity. Again, that's when dreams come in, visions come in. You can even travel. It's a whole lot of things that you do in the 5D that people won't even understand if you would try to explain to them. But again, it's the beyond. So these things that you experience, your conscious sins, and you can actually see things from above and not below. Also, in 5D, if you look all around, all is one. Everything is one, including nature. We're all one. The trees, the grass, the plants, everything is one. You also detach yourself from, again, friends, even family members, whomever that are not in agreement with you, and whom are still stuck in that 3D, who try to judge or whatever, criticize. You start to associate yourself with kindred spirits, and these kindred spirits, these be the people that you consider your spiritual family, that you can talk to, build with, and do things, you know, that you do things for your purpose in life. And I put that on there too, living your purpose, because everybody's here for a purpose. If you stuck in that 3D, then you're gonna do what society tell you to do. You go to school, first thing they say, what you want to be, you grow up. I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a policeman, I want to be this, I want to be that. And you working for society. You're not doing what you here to do. You could be here to do something else, but you won't even entertain it because you don't even know yourself. And that's another part of the 5D is you get to know who you are. You begin to have self-love for yourself. You begin to look in the mirror and saying, I love you. You begin to do the things that you love to do. You begin to step outside of that society box. And it's no limits. It's no limits. Look at COVID. COVID was a reset for the world because it showed people that, you don't have to work this 9 to 5, 8 hours, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's other things you could do. And people had to do that during that time because everything was shut down. So it's a reset. Even with nature, it was a reset. So you have to know your purpose. You have to know what you're here to do. And don't let nobody, not anybody, try to take you off your path and take you off your purpose. If that means you go across the world, that means you doing whatever. You just have to do what you're here to do. And when you're in the 5D, you won't allow nothing to deter you from going to where you need to go. Also, it's a time of enlightenment. You become very enlightened on things. You just have these great enlightenments with different things in life that you saw differently before, and you also like to share those ideas with like-minded people to grow and to fellowship with. Also, this is time of living in gratitude, regardless of situations you go through in life, regardless of whatever. you live in gratitude. It don't matter if you think something is bad, because at this time you realize there's no such thing as bad. We grew up thinking, when this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. But if you look at the definition of bad, it basically means it's something unpleasant or disturbing, detrimental, evil, sinful. Okay, so like I said, I take everything and use. I can talk to anybody on this situation. So if you're a Christian, you read the Bible. Okay, in order to be who you are, in order to grow, in order to be purified, in order to be good, you have to do what? You have to go through evil. He actually used Satan to help people become who they were, because they wouldn't know unless they went through bad things. So there's nothing actually bad. It's just the things that we go through to evolve to who we are, and to evolve as a people. We have to go through certain things. You have to go through the fire. And most people think the fire is bad because it's uncomfortable. It gets hot. So at the end of the day, it's not bad. It's for your good. You look at the gold that people wear. In order for that gold to look like it look, and it look good and shine, it had to go through the fire. And that wasn't comfortable, but once it came out that fire, you put it on, it looked good. So at the end of the day, you have to understand there's no such thing as bad. You also understand too that in society they taught us that certain words were bad. A word, no, there's no such thing as a bad word. It's no in any literature, in any religion or whatever, knowledge, book of knowledge, that said there's nothing written that says that a word is bad. It's all on how you use that word. That's the total difference. How you use that word. The word that a word that you might not think is bad, it can be bad the way you use it. So you have to understand, it's not a word. It's not saying you can't say. It's nowhere you say you can't say a certain word. It's how you use that word, and that's what people get confused. Because if you offend anybody, if you call anybody ugly, that's considered cursing, because you affecting this person. You call this person something that means something that's not them. So they may be offended by that. So if you say you hope somebody get hit by a bus or something, you cursing them. You ain't no word. It's just what you saying. And it's life and death is in the power of the tongue. You look at James 3:8-10. It tells you that there's power in the tongue. So it's not the word. It's what you say. It's all about what you say and how you say it if it offends people. So don't get deceived by that. So understand that things that you may not think are cursing, they are cursing. And the things that you think are cursing really aren't cursing. Ain't no word. Ain't no say no word. You can't say shit, damn, fuck, or whatever. There's nowhere written nowhere. So that's the difference with that. Also, during the 5D, you got to understand that this is a time of bliss. And when I say bliss, it's not a physical bliss. It's a spiritual bliss. Well, you just have this happiness at all times. Again, when anything's going on around you that may be uncomfortable, you still at a state of just happiness and gladness, all through the gratitude and everything like that. So again, this is a time where this is the decision that you have to make at this time, because this is what's happening right now. These worlds, these parallel worlds, are coexisting. And eventually it's going to end up, you're going to have to be on one side or the other. You got to be on one side or the other. And, if you've been around in 3D long enough, this is not nowhere you would want to be. Because it's all about bondage. It's all about lies. It's all about illusions. Nothing is real. And you're actually living in a hell. What they call hell anyway. So, yeah, this is the time where you got to make that decision. It's time where you got to make that decision. So again, you have the 3D, which is the world, the old world, merging to the new world, which is the 5D. And that's why you see everything has kind of changed in the past, I say 10 years. People have become more enlightened. People have become more, going, living their purpose, doing the things, not living the lives that they used to live. That's why, because it's merging. I've seen it. And I'm here to explain it. So when things you don't understand, why things are going on like they're going on, it's because of that. It's because of that, from the presidents, from everything. Everything is a judgment. Everything is meant to happen. We can't change it. So whatever happens, we have to either evolve. It's all about self at this point. You have to work on yourself. Because all the stuff that's going to happen, if you stuck in that 3D, it's going to affect you. It's going to keep you in a mode of suffering. So once you get to that 5D, you don't even you don't even worry about the stuff that's going on. You don't worry about the news. You don't worry about who president. You don't worry about none of that shit because it don't matter. It's all about you. It's all about you. All the other stuff is just distractions, just to keep you in this 3D, to keep you distressed, to keep you poor, to keep you in turmoil all the time. That's all it is. Keep you in fear. That's what it is. When you're in the 5D, you don't live in fear. You don't care about no wars. You don't care about none of that because you know that you are protected and you know that you good. But to the person that's in 3D, they gonna always live in fear. They gonna always be scared. They gonna always be caught up in the gossip of the world, the news. If anything is bad, that's the news because it's nothing. It's not nothing good to help you as a person, as an individual. So you have to do that yourself. Also in the 5D, you have to be in solitude. You have to take the time to be to yourself, to even know yourself. You have to take the time to just listen to yourself. You have to. I mean, you have to take time. But if you're in that 3D, you working 8, 12 hours a day. You ain't gonna have time to do that. So again, you got to make decisions. These are decisions that we all have to make if we want to evolve. We want our conscience to ascend. If we want to know the truth. If we want to be enlightened. If we want to live in freedom. If you want to live in oneness. It's because in the 5D, everything is like, again, you don't look at race no more. You don't look at, genders no more. If somebody is gay, you don't look at that no more because it's the individual. It's however they want to live, that's on them. That's on them. It's no judgment. Even with a murderer, even with, a liar, you don't judge because again, we're all here for a purpose. We all go through what we go through for a purpose. So who is anybody to judge anybody? Because we all fall short. So who are we to judge anybody for their falls or things that they're learning to evolve to who they are? Who are we? So again, this is what's going to be the end point of humanity is oneness. And until a collective get this, we're going to continue going through what we've been going through. It's going to take a collective of people, and it's going to be mostly coming from this generation now because most of the ones that have been here for 50 plus years, 60 plus years, they pretty much not going to, they're not going to, most of them are not going to evolve to that 5D because they're too ingrained in that 3D, and even the time before then that they're not going to really be able to ascend. But again, it's up to the generation today as a collective to get together and become one. Because we're stuck in the middle right now, but we have to transcend to the new world and make it one. Make it one. So again, I just wanted to break the chart down. And if you got any questions, send a comment. And if you want to just comment on the whole chart, whatever, feel welcome to do so. Also, feel free to copy this chart down so you have it for yourself to look over it, save it, do what you got to do. Again, thank everybody for tuning in to the 23rd episode of Outside the Box with Seth Siyon. Also, stay tuned for the I got one more than the 25th episode. Is when I'm gonna do my special podcast where it's gonna be an interview about me, about why I started the podcast, about my whole situation and how I got to where I got to. So make sure you stay tuned for that. That's the 25th episode. And that should be coming out within the next 2 weeks. Also, I'm gonna put up my links for donations. If anybody would like to donate any funds to the enhancement of this podcast, you can do so at these following links that I'm putting up. And also gratitude to all whom support us through any donations or just through, subscribing or liking or commenting for the success of Outside the Box with Seth Siyon. Also, if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe. Click that subscribe button right now. And also like, share, and comment to any and everybody. And I'm open to all constructive criticism too. So if you have any, thoughts about the podcast, hey, comment me. Also put my Instagram up too. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. I do a lot of my reels on Instagram. So make sure that you subscribe, follow me on Instagram. All right. Also, nuevamente a mi gente, gracias por sumarse también. Viva la raza. All right, y'all. You know how we do this. Every time I close out, I always like to say, make sure you do self-care, do self-love. Look in the mirror, tell yourself I love you. Go out in nature, be one with nature. Walk barefooted. Also, go out and hug trees. Be one with nature, because that is our grounding, our spiritual grounding and our physical grounding. Because we come from the earth, so we have to ground ourselves to the earth to charge up, and that's the way we charge up, is going out in nature and doing those things. Being one with nature. Also, make sure you exercise at least 2 to 3 times a week. It don't take but 15, 20 minutes a day. As long as you're consistent, that's all you need. Everybody has time to do that. Also, make sure you hydrate yourself. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water. Also, make sure you fast. That's very important. And fasting is good to fast for food, but it's also good to fast from anything that is taking you away from doing what you're supposed to do and doing your self-care and doing your self-love, and also your meditation. Meditation is very important. That's one thing that society has stripped away from us, is meditation. You can even go to other countries and they practice meditation even in schools, because it helps, and also it gives you that enlightenment, and gives you that gratification that you need to overcome all the distractions and illusions that we're constantly around in the world. So meditation is very, very important. It don't matter if you do it 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. Get to yourself, by yourself, lock yourself in the closet, whatever. Just take time and just do meditation. It's very important. And also, practice self-control. Live in the present. You can't live in the past. You can't live in the future. You have to live in the moment. That's the only way that we're supposed to live, is in the moment. Oh yeah. So if you come back to my,
you must set your boundaries. One more, but and also understand that time is an illusion.
So yeah, these are things that just be conscious of doing. Self-love, self-care. It's all about you. It's all about you. We gotta do this as a collective to get to that 5D. We gotta get to that 5D. Again, thank everybody for tuning in. And you know how we do this. Peace, love.